to. He's getting buckets easily.
That's what you.
He gave the Celtics a couple times, 40 or stuff when he was on Charlotte. So it's not a question to me if Kemba can get a bucket. He can. But it's sad to say, but I have to admit it. There's certain times we've talked about this. You mentioned a lot of times he's not as aggressive as he can be. And, I think part of that is just because he's like, damn, I'm actually playing with good players for the first time in my life. Since I've been in the NBA.
And that's coaching too. That's a coaching issue as well.
They're like, oh, man, Jaylen Brown's going off. Go off, bro. Tatum, you going off? Go off, bro. Hayward, you getting buckets right now? Do your thing. I'm chilling because I know what it is, but I'm happy to have people next to me that can do it too, which is fine. I totally get it. But then there's certain times in the game where you like, okay, I got it, fellas. You got to have that. It's a switch, I guess.
Question.
It's a switch.
Did Celtics bring Kemba onto this team to be the guy to say, okay, you get the bucket. Okay, you be nice. You get a bucket. What did they bring Kemba in here for? To get buckets. They needed a guy to score.
Yeah.
Celtics' issue was scoring. There was many times last year you're looking like this. They don't have enough scoring. Whether it's through injuries, Gordon wasn't good last year. They needed scoring. Kemba's here to score. That's what he does. He's a scorer. He can get buckets anyhow. He's a triple threat. He needs to insert himself earlier into games. In the first quarter, he needs to attack. He's got freaking Shake Milton on him.
Shake Milton, looking at times, he couldn't even keep up Kemba certain times. He can't.
Kemba's talking about his knees this, his knees fine, he feel great. Start going that. Tatum and Brown are going to get theirs.
Yes.
As a point guard, that's your job. That is your job to make sure everyone's doing it, but you got to get yours as well. And if he's struggling with that, what the hell is Brad Stevens doing? You can't be cute with Kemba no more. This is the playoffs. Philly is not no slouch. When they put Jason Richardson on Kemba, it was looking rough for Kemba over there. Get other people involved. Use the pick and roll. You got Cantor. Use the pick and roll with Cantor. That's what I thought was going to be great with this team, which I have not seen a lot of. Two guys who obviously defensively are horrid. But I want to see more of Kemba and Enes Kanter in the pick and roll action.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to roll with Robert Williams, who's had a solid couple of games in the bubble. Last night wasn't one of them. Last night wasn't a good game for Robert Williams. I mean, he kind of reverted back to this just a body out there. Yeah, we know he got the hops and he can dunk, but then like he wasn't giving us anything defensively. He wasn't giving the Celtics anything in terms of rebounding and battling in the paint. He didn't do any of that. And, maybe not to really fault to Kendall, but he's been out of the rotation a little bit and losing minutes to Time Lord. And they brought him in there for a little bit. And he was up and down. He was up and down. Obviously, I think if he's back in the swing and has the confidence, he'll be fine. Again, you just said it, pick and roll with Kemba. When Kemba gets the ball around the basket, it's usually a bucket. It's usually a bucket.
And if it's not, he'll just get his old rebound. Like the man is lethal inside.
I think the question of the thing that Brad struggles with is the fact that they know Kanter is. I mean, nobody can really stop Embiid on the Celtics. He's gonna eat pretty much against anybody, and Kanter, in a sense, could be the worst option to cover. He's a big body, sure, but Embiid, in a sense, can have his way against Kanter and anybody.
But then that goes back to coaching. I have Kanter, who I know is only playing 15 minutes a game. Foul Embiid every single time you have 6 of them. I'm not using you to play 20 minutes. Kanter's there for 15 minutes. Every time he's on the floor, if you cannot defend Embiid, disrupt him. Foul the hell out of him every single time in the paint. Because there's no one really that can do it. And we're gonna let Marcus Smart and Tice do what they can with him. But Kanter, he has 6 free fouls. We already know the Celtics are gonna be in foul trouble when it comes to sixes anyways, because they're just too big.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Brad's gonna have to find the right rotation, because what we know is Sixers are gonna go through Embiid. We saw that in game one. For the most part, especially that first quarter,
And they didn't go through him enough.
they didn't go through him enough. Whether that's on coaching or Embiid just wanted to find his way to the 3-point line because they were trailing a little bit at times and whatnot. I don't know. But when they put Embiid on that post, it's usually a bucket. And that's really their scoring option. Embiid in the post, maybe kick out to Richardson or Tobias Harris or Shake Milton for a three or something. But for the most part, they want to go through Embiid in the post. And he'll do his thing. I think, when it comes down to it, matchup wise, the Celtics just have, they still have too much firepower, but Kemba, Brown, and Tatum alone, yes, Hayward, they've been great. Again, you're talking about 3 guys who averaged 20 on the season.
They're a better team.
And 1 guy who averaged 17. You take out Hayward, unfortunately, you still have 3 guys who averaged 20 points on the season. I think that can take out, I'm positive that can take out the Philadelphia Sixers.
And with the Sixers, Mike, mentally, I feel like they're not there. You have to win game 2. I feel like if you win game 2 right there, you crush them. You crush them, and they feel like, okay, we just don't have enough. We can't do it. It's all on Embiid. This is what we have. You take care of game 2. The series is probably done in 5. It's probably done in 5. And B might have one gigantic game in there, but this series is done in 5. You make it 1-1. Now you keep it lingering. I think the Celtics win regardless. But how fragile Sixers are and the turmoil they've been through all year. I know if you beat them game 2, it's over with them.
Yeah, I never saw the series going more than 5 games. I never saw the series going more than 5. And I hear you. You come out, and I think if the Celtics have things clicking on all cylinders, one of these games can be a blowout. I think Celtics can blow out the Sixers in one of these next couple of games coming up. It should happen. Obviously, yeah, it's tougher, no home court or whatnot, but you got 2 guys who are capable of going off for 30 in a game. And Kemba, as long as he's in his groove and rhythm, can do the same thing.
I think a blowout's going to be tough. I think I agree with you in 5. Just the way Sixers match up against the Celtics and their size and everything, and causing the Celtics to be in foul trouble, I think a blowout might be hard.
Yeah, especially talking about matchup. I'm shocked that they didn't try to go at Horford more. To start the game, Horford's in there. Brown was on him to start. I'm shocked that they didn't try to go at Horford more. They made it. They had Horford looking like he was an all-time defender out there, which, Horford's not a bad defender, but Jaylen Brown's on you. I'm like, give Jaylen Brown and let him go to work. But, they didn't try to expose that as much as I thought they should. Either way, the Celtics were able to win. Now, the real question is back to Hayward. If he's not going to be with this team for extended period of time, because, yes, we know he's out for 4 weeks, and then there's still the lingering fact that he said before they even got to the bubble, he's leaving for the birth of his 4th child. So now you're talking about, okay, well, 4 weeks he's not going to be here to the Eastern Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals is in September. His wife is due sometime in September.
Are they? Yeah, it's tough.
How do they fare? Let's talk a scenario where they don't have Hayward in the Eastern Conference Finals because he's hurt, and then his wife gives birth around there.
Look, in order for the Celtics to make it out the East, they gotta be at full power. They have to be at full power for them to come out this East. Because one thing you always bring up, Mike, is their bench, and their bench is not good. The bench is not this. Celtics are as talented as any team in the East, fully healthy. There's no team that has more talent than the Celtics at all. When you look at what Tatum has become now, I wouldn't have said this in September, but you see what Tatum has become now. The progression of Jaylen Brown. Kemba, we know what you can get out of him. Marcus Smart's tenacious defense. And then you added, I didn't even care about Gordon scoring. That was a bonus. You add Gordon's playmaking,
Yeah,
which was
factor.
huge, because Kemba's not your prototypical point guard. You added Gordon Hayward's playmaking, so when the bench was in, you still could have went through Gordon Hayward to set things up. That's what you're missing, and that's going to hurt the Celtics. Even when you look at we think that the Celtics are going to face Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference. That's not even the toughest matchup, in my opinion. I think it's the Toronto Raptors who you'll see in the second round. I think that's when you're really going to need Gordon Hayward, due to the fact that, one, all the wings that the Celtics have, they have all the same type of wings that can defend. That can defend that. And so you need all the firepower that you can. You look at Kemba Walker. Kemba Walker's going to have his hands full with what's his name? Lowry's defensively, and then if you're not gonna guard Lowry, you're gonna have to chase Van Fleet around. Pick your poison, Kemba. Like, Toronto's going to be a very, very tough team to beat. And that's where you're not gonna have Gordon Hayward. So I'm not even thinking about Eastern Conference. Once the Gordon Hayward thing happened, I can't even think about Eastern Conference no more, because you gotta look at Toronto Raptors and how you're gonna do it without Kemba.
Yeah, it's tough,
I mean, without Gordon.
And it seems to be always, for some reason, Celtics are not at full strength at some point in time when it's most important. Here's another season where you come off a pretty strong performance in the bubble. What, they go 5-2 or something like that?
Yeah, they were great.
They were rolling. To start the bubble. They were kind of shaky, but then they got in a groove on their last 4 or 5 in a row. And then you head into playoffs thinking full strength, everybody's clicking, everybody's playing well. Boom, guy goes down who's very important. You talked about it a little bit. I've said it always. You need that starting lineup plus Marcus Smart to carry you. And they're down a man right now.
And it's possible.
It's still possible. Like, there's no death sentence on the Celtics that now that Gordon Hayward's going to be out for the next couple of weeks. Things are a little tougher, but it's no death sentence on them.
I tweeted this when once the Gordon Hayward news really sunk in. In order for the Celtics to come out the East, I mean, they got to be better than Kawhi, Paul George together. They really have to take that. I'm not saying they are better than them, but they got to play where you're looking at them to maybe getting 25 points a game type in the playoffs. And it's not impossible. We saw what they did 2 years ago together. When it was just them two. And you saw what they did game one. It's really got to be where Tatum and Brown are out there being assassins every night, open.
Yes.
Why not get a champion in your second, third year in the NBA?
Hey,
because I tell you, there's a monster coming next year. His name is Kevin Durant.
Please.
Like,
it's not the conversation I want to have.
I know you don't want to have that conversation, but it's like, if there's a chance to win a chip for the Celtics right now, there's a beast coming.
I don't want to talk about what the next goal looks like. Not this show, please, Marv.
There's a beast coming, waiting, licking his chops. Get it now.
Everybody got to be healthy, man. And, I still think even if they were to go out and get it out, they'll go out and get it now because, like Dirk just said, it's the Tatum and Brown show. They can go out and get it now because those two guys go off. And I still think Danny Ainge has the opportunity, the capability, the possibility to make this team's roster better around those two guys.
For sure.
He does. Like, this is not the best roster he can produce with these two guys. But, we'll dive into that when we get to the offseason. Hopefully we'll get into the offseason, after a deep Celtics playoff run, and we'll see how it goes.
Celtics have a tough road, man. Even like the Sixers game, we all think they should win in 5. And even though I say 5, this is a tough battle due to just
it's not going to be easy.
It's not going to be easy at all. And so I'm excited, though. I'm really excited for Tatum. He showed up. Game 1. And
yes,
he's looking. It just feels good to have that guy again on the Celtics. And then you add in Jaylen Brown, who's doing he's been just as impressive in the bubble. Just as impressive. Kemba, I'm waiting for the Kemba game. I said it months ago to you. Kemba hasn't had that game.
Nah.
Kemba in the Celtics uniform.
I don't know if he
has
will,
not
man.
had
I don't
that
know if he
game.
will. He's
going to need to.
When you
going
have Tatum and Brown, it's a Tatum and Brown show. That's the third option.
Of course.
I don't know if we'll see a Kemba game that's because Tatum and Brown are just going
He's
off
not
every
your
game.
regular third option.
I know he's not. But the way he's going about it and the way this team is operating right now, he's the third option.
It's cute right now to be the third option willy-nilly against the depleted 76ers. It's cute right now. Kemba's going to need to have that game where he puts his stamp and he's still that guy. It's Tatum and Brown have shown there's times where there's going to be lapses where they can't do it. Jaylen Brown right now, the thing about Jaylen, I love Jaylen and I love how he attacks and things like that. But when Jaylen's threes are not dropping, he's not hot. Jaylen's turned himself into a good three-point shooter. He's not a great three-point shooter. If it's not dropping, he's not hot. And now without Gordon Hayward, that's going to be tough. Tatum, we think he's taking that next step as a superstar. He can't do it by himself. Kemba needs to come out. He's the guy I know out of all three of them can get 30 whenever he wants. He just hasn't done it.
He's letting those young guys go to work.
That's good. That's good. It's time now. You gave him all the confidence all throughout the season, which they probably was something they didn't have last year with Kyrie. This year, you let them flourish. You let them grow. Now it's like, okay, what did Danny Ainge bring me here for? He didn't bring me here to just let them grow. He brought me in here to get buckets. And that's what you're going to need. There's going to be times where you can't score. And the one person you're going to look into is Kemba. Make it happen.
Hey, for the Celtics to go far, we all know this. All those guys need to be clicking.
Yeah.
Tatum, Brown, Kemba, Hayward when he comes back. Smart's going to have to be on his game defensively. We're going to need Tice solid in the paint. We're going to need Cantor come off the bench and rebound and get those second chance points, offensive rebounds. Everybody's going to be on point. That's how championships happen. Everybody's clicking. Everybody's on point. Again, this bubble is unique to everybody because nobody has. This is open court run. You open court running right now with your team. There's no fans. You're not hitting a big shot and pointing to the crowd and receiving that energy and all that stuff you usually see after guys hit big shots. There's none of that. You just have to ball right now. And, some teams were able to ball and put it all together while they're in the bubble. Some teams weren't. Milwaukee is a team. They've been struggling in the bubble. Celtics are a team who seem to have it all together, playing well in the bubble. I mean,
we said it. This bubble was set up perfectly for the Celtics.
Yeah. This is a team who obviously, years-wise, has Kemba been playing with Tatum and Brown and Hayward for a lot of years? No, but it just seems over the course of the season, plus, that time that those four guys had with Team USA.
Which has been a year now.
Yeah, they've had a lot of time together. So the chemistry is there. I still believe Brad Stevens is one of the top coaches in NBA. He has his, faults just like any coach does at certain times. But, hey, the optimism is still there for the Celtics. I'm not looking at this team and saying, well, they're not like I'm still wide open as to how far this team can go.
One last thing on the Gordon Hayward. I know I like to joke around, Connor, but my thoughts and prayers do go out to him. That's tough, man.
It's been a tough 3 years in Boston, man.
I can't imagine what's going through his head. There's probably a lot of thoughts that's going through his head right now.
And each time he gets injured, it happens at a wild time.
Yeah.
Like you think about when he broke his foot. First game of the season with your new team. Broken foot.
I guess the broken hand was the only time it wasn't at a wild time.
It wasn't a wild, but like prior to the broken hand, you got to remember, there was talks in the beginning of the season of Celtics having like 4 all-star players.
Yeah.
And Gordon, Gordon's playing out of his back, fully back from his foot injury. Like he's looking like he's back. Broke his hand, lost steam and momentum. Now this injury here, playoffs has started, teams all clicking. He breaks his hand in the first game. That's why I say they've all happened at some wild times for him. So it has to be tough mentally, man.
That's to know that your team's counting on you to be someone. to be a big contributor, and that each time you go out there, something happens to you and you do get hurt. I hope mentally he's okay.
Yeah,
get him out the bubble.
That's what I think. He needs to leave.
I don't think he needs to. I don't think he needs to be here right now. Is what they say his wife's almost due, right?
Yeah.
Get him out the bubble. Let him, clear his head,
with
back with your kids, everything like that.
See you in 4 weeks.
When you're ready to come back, come back. I don't think he needs to be in the bubble right now.
Yeah, I hear you. But I mean, again, playoffs are rolling. Celtics play Wednesday night, 6:30, game 2 against Philadelphia. We'll be watching just like we know you guys will be watching. And we'll be ready to talk about them some more. But we got to switch topics a little bit here real quick and get into training camp, NFL training camp. Teams are trying to get things ready and prepared, even though season may be still up in the maybe it's not going to be. It look like NFL
they're having a season. It's whether it's going to finish. It's the question.
It looks like NFL again is still the most I see the NFL talking about right now. These teams are talking about is if they're going to have fans or not, or how many fans they're going to have or whatnot.
Which is crazy
that's
how
the biggest conversation in the NFL
individually
right now.
Teams are coming saying we're not going to having everyone in unison right now and saying this is what we're going to do or not going to do.
NFL just wants to make money. They just want to make money. Teams, organizations are having their own. Goodell needs to be like, yo, this is what we're doing as a league.
That's crazy.
And that's what it's going to be.
So Goodell's just calling up owners. Hey, Jerry, so what you thinking? You guys want to have fans or
pretty much?
Hey, Robert. So what you guys feel like doing? You feel like it's okay either way. I just want to know what you guys are up to. Like, come out, make a statement. Hey, for the first 8 weeks, first 8 weeks, we will not have fans, and we will reevaluate once. Like, if you really want to have fans that bad, say, give it a time, 4, 6, 8 weeks, something. We will not have fans, and then in that time, we'll reevaluate and see what we can do. Then you can keep pushing it back from there. But having every team individually say what they're gonna do and not going to do, like what kind of shit is that?
I don't know, man. I don't know what is Goodell's role? Just to discipline players?
Yeah, and do whatever the owners want.
Because it seems to me like he doesn't have any real power. Again, the fact I've seen it in MLB, NBA, NHL that the leagues come out and made decisions. The NFL seems to just be doing things on their own. Teams are doing things separately than what the NFL should come out and decide.
Representation of the United States of America right now.
So it makes no sense.
Every state's doing their own thing.
So yeah, I'm seeing all these teams putting in work for training camp and whatnot, and teams getting ready. But it's still, as much as I get hyped about seeing Patriots training camp and guys getting ready, I'm still at the other side. I'm like, yo, will there even be a legit season? On top of you got people getting ready for fantasy and whatnot. I love fantasy football. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Love doing it. But for some reason, my hype's not there because I don't know what's going to happen with the NFL. Right. My hype for fantasy football is not fully there right now because I'm just so at a loss what the NFL is going to look like. Because nobody knows. They don't even fully know. Just like every week, if you get notified, it seems like every week there's baseball games getting canceled. There's games getting canceled. There's series getting canceled. Teams got to postpone games, reschedule games. It seems like it's happening every week. And if that's happening in baseball, a sport that's not even barely any contact, they don't have a lot of players in the clubhouse and whatnot. What the hell is going to happen to football?
And at least with baseball, when you cancel games, you can move it around and, you could try to be creative with it. NFL, it's once a week. There's only one game per week. You cancel one game and then you ruin everything.
Yeah. It's hard to reschedule an NFL game. It's not easy to do that. And again, NFL just seems to be just trying to roll with everything like there's nothing going on in the world. I wish them luck, man. Again, I'm hyped for, the Patriots and the new era that they're going into. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, will I even see this play out? Because I don't know. Will it play out for a full season? I don't know. But I mean, I guess because they're going about it like it's going to happen, we got to talk about it like it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. And right now, there is training camp. Right now, the New England Patriots are in training camp, as you mentioned, Mike Nice. And there's a battle, man. There's a QB battle right now between Newton, Stidham, and Hoyer. They're all getting equal amount of reps. They're all slinging. If you follow any beat reporters, they'll let you know what's going on. And it seems like it's a real battle. Some people are upset, like, oh, it just should be Cam Newton. What's going on? So here's my take. I love it. This is exactly what the Patriots would do. Make it a battle. No one, just because Cam Newton, Super Bowl MVP, obviously the more talented QB out of the two, make him work for the job. Make him battle. And then you still got Stidham, who you drafted. I want to see Stidham be competitive. I want to see him fight, and I want to see him try to win the job. If you're going to have a quarterback try to win the job, that's who you want. We had Tom Brady for 20 years. There's no man that was more competitive than Tom Brady. And that's why, as New England fans, we loved him. We didn't only love him because he won, but we loved him because he was fiery and how he approached the game, and always the first person in, the last person out. That's what you want out of your quarterback. And if these guys are battling and Stidham's out there standing up to a Super Bowl MVP and trying to go toe-to-toe with them, I love it. But will he win the battle? I don't think so. I think Cam Newton's a superior quarterback than him. But I like the fact that the Patriots are not giving one person more reps than the other, and they're letting them go at it. Dirk brought up that Stidham had a rough day today.
Sure did.
He threw 3 interceptions. That's going to happen. We can't forget, Patriots have a hell of a secondary. But right there, that's unfortunate for Stidham. There's no preseason. You have one bad day. That's
going to get highlighted.
It's going to get highlighted. It's going to shit. And you got to be really good throughout training camp, specifically for the Patriots at the quarterback position, because there's no other way these coaches can evaluate you other than through these practices, through these training camps.
Yeah, I mean, you said it best. You messing up in training camps, these practices that they're having, it's gonna get highlighted because there's no exhibition games. Stidham, there's still a small group of people out there who are hoping that he emerges as a starting quarterback. I don't fully understand why. And maybe they're just ready to see a young guy take over, next guy take over and be the one to lead the Patriots for the next several years. I guess maybe that's the argument for Stidham. But I feel as if a veteran, not only is Cam Newton just a veteran, it's not a guy who's just been in the league for 9 seasons or 10 seasons, whatever the case may be. He's a former MVP. He's been in the playoff. He has plenty of playoff experience. He has Super Bowl experience. And from what these first couple of days have looked like, he's played pretty solid. The reports come out, they're all getting the same amount of reps. Nobody's really taking a big stranglehold on the race so far. I mean, today says a lot if Stidham out here throwing picks, even if the secondary is bad. From what I read, I think Cam Newton only had 3 incompletions, and 2 of those incompletions were dropped balls by the receivers. So sounds. And then the third incompletion was just the fact that he overthrew a player on a deep route. But the whole situation is Cam Newton's healthy in his arm, and how's his shoulder? You overthrow somebody, you putting some power on the ball, and you got the strength there. So I think, again, when it boils down to it, Cam Newton will emerge as a starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. But I think Bill Belichick and McDaniels, they're getting joy and excitement out of just a new experience of letting these guys battle. 20+ years of going to training camp, I don't give a damn. Ryan Mallett, Garoppolo, Hoyer, all the other dudes that have shuffled in and out of New England behind Tom Brady. They knew they didn't stand a chance getting that role. Belichick knew, McDaniels knew, but they're gonna go at it in practice. But when it came time for week 1, you knew Brady was gonna be out there. This is a brand new feeling and experience that Belichick and McDaniels can sit back and evaluate guys. So I think they're enjoying it. I mean, it adds to conversation for everybody, whether it be the team whether it be media members like us, the people watching and continue to have conversation. It's something different. But I think at the end of the day, we'll know what it'll look like for the Patriots when they get to week 1.
One thing that's going to be a factor, as Dirk mentioned, is the playbook. Cam learning the playbook. They were reading some reports. There were times where Cam was confused on where to go with the football and what to do. So that's it, man. Cam needs to get his head in the books, learn the playbook. We know how it is in New England. If you don't know the playbook, you will not play, especially if you're the quarterback. That's the one thing you must know. Cam, Bill Belichick has come out and said that, Cam's a hard worker. He's been working really hard here. So I'm confident. It's still early in the training camp. I hope he can get that in his head, the playbook, and understand everything. And he's going to be fine. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. But if Stidham were to emerge, then you have to rock with Stidham, because that means he's having a hell of a training camp. And at the end of the day, you just want the best quarterback on the field for the New England Patriots.
That's it. And then obviously Stidham and Hoyer especially, they have an upper hand on Cam because of their time in New England. Like, the playbook is something that they've been studying in Stidham's case over a year now, and Hoyer's case for plenty of years now. It's brand new to Cam Newton. Like, the talent is there. We know that. But obviously the talent has to go along with what the team is running, through the playbook. So that's just, where Cam has a little bit of an uphill battle. And on top of that, Dirk just mentioned, he needs to stay healthy. That's huge. We know Cam's health history over the last couple of years. All signs are pointing to him being fully healthy and ready to go and fully recover from anything that he was dealing with, which is huge. It's something that a lot of people talked about, but I don't think people are talking about that as much anymore because, through his IG posts and his videos, and then now, full padded practice is taking place and he's not on any, restrictive list where he can't be out there and do certain things. So, it's all about just going out there and be able to perform and like you said, have knowledge of the playbook.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's still not as exciting as it would have been years prior due to, the COVID and not having us be able to see. The first time we're going to see these guys is when the season starts.
Yeah, true.
So, not being able to evaluate the rookies and see how the rookies are going to be and things like that. We just got to go off of the beat reporters and read off what they say and hope for the best for this team, man. It's the same for everybody. Everybody's going through this. I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, how the rookies going to handle all of this stuff without preseason and stuff. And Bill Belichick a couple of days ago was like, hey, rookies throughout the NFL are going to have a hard time this year. That's something to look out for this year. Just seeing if rookies even play, like, are they going to get much burn or anything like that, just due to the fact that they don't have much reps to take or preseasons and things like that. So something to look out for.
Yeah, it's very true. Guys who get those rookies who really, maybe they're not the top draft picks, but they really show out in these preseason games. They're not going to have those opportunities. You better have a hell of a training camp and really show something in practice so that coaches can make decisions about you, because you're not going to have those opportunities in exhibition games.
And these are padded practices, but they're not full out going hard and hitting.
Teammates aren't folding each other in half. Like, even exhibition games, sometimes they really go up there and go hard. You padded practice, they got the pads on, but once they say hike, these guys aren't trying to, knock over the offensive linemen, and I don't think safeties are trying to take dudes' heads off in the middle of the field and whatnot. Like, you got to take it easy in a sense, because it's still your teammates. You're not trying to hurt people, so like.
It's not.
Football could be sloppy.
Football's gonna be. There's gonna be injuries. It's gonna be sloppy, and like I know I keep saying it, but the rookies, man, you go from playing college level talent to hitting grown ass men. It's different, and you're not gonna have those reps and that feeling. It's gonna be really tough for rookies. It's gonna take them a while.
Yeah, hey man. It's around the corner. NFL is around the corner. September's around the corner, which means football is around the corner. I mean, sports is fully back, fully back. Basketball's happening, baseball's happening, NHL is in the playoffs. Shout out to the Bruins who they're in their first round matchup against the Hurricanes right now. They're up 3-1, so they're a game away from advancing to the second round. Shout out to them. Red Sox is struggling. We don't even have to talk about them much right now, but the Red Sox are struggling. I still, gonna rep them for my team, but I call it how it is, right down in the middle. Something my dad always taught me. And if teams suck, my team suck. Team just sucks. Like, that's just what it is. But yeah, it's sports time, and it's gonna be interesting to continue to watch. Playoffs that happen, and NFL starting to get underway. We'll be here for it all.
For sure.
Here for it all. Last quick topic before we wrap things up, just to get your thoughts and feelings. My thoughts and feelings, and everybody else, who's tuned in right now. Quick thoughts and feelings. You said in the beginning of the show, we all know September. What does September mean? School's about to start. But this year, we all know 2020 is different because of COVID-19, having everybody in a stranglehold in a sense. In schools, administrators, they're struggling right now with how education is going to look this fall. Is school coming back at all? Are we going remote? Is going hybrid with some of in school, not a school learning? Are people going to just go back to school and just try to play safe and wear masks and wash hands and sanitize? Like, people are really trying to look at it from every different option and angle. There's some schools who have already come out and said, look, this is the model we're going with. There's some schools are figuring it out. Some schools are still flipping and changing every minute and second of the day. It's a lot to think about, man. I think our friend gave us an article where somewhere, I think it's some university, where they had to shut down because over 100 students or so came down with the virus after being in class or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about schools. Colleges are opening back up as well. Kids are going back to their universities this August. Like, classes are probably starting at this moment. So it's crazy all around. Working at BPS now, from what I'm seeing, a lot of schools are doing a hybrid system. 2 days in, and then the rest of the days are going to be remote learning. And even that, the 2 days that they go in is going to be split up. So like some kids might do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be a cleaning day. And then Thursday, Friday is another group of kids that are going to school. That's one thing that I heard that's going on. And man, I feel bad for these kids, man. I really do feel bad that they have to go through this and during this time. And we never had to go through something like this, remote learning and going to school half the time, not seeing your friends and being isolated. This kids right now, as adults, you still have freedom to go out, wear your mask and all that. This kids right now that haven't seen their friends in 7 months.
Yeah.
I bought my brother some sneakers the other day for back to school. Got him some kicks. He was so happy. And then he's like, damn, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to wear these. And when he said that, it hit me like, damn. He was hype. And then he was like, I don't even know when I'm going to be able to wear them. Where's he going? He doesn't even know if he's going to school.
Sheesh.
So that's just the times. That's just the times that they're living right now. Social anxiety some of these kids are gonna start to experience maybe, and just I know I could not learn remotely.
Oh, hell no, Marv.
I know I couldn't.
No.
I just I the amount of times teachers needed to come to my desk and say, Marv, Marv, you needed to do this. No, this is where you did it wrong. How are you supposed to do that remotely? There'd be times even when I was in class, teacher would be saying something. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I just didn't do nothing on the paper until they had to come to me and be like, nah,
what are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? And give me that extra help. That's just me personally. Because there's times I just zone out.
Yeah.
You tell me I'm going to be looking at a screen, I'm not going to zone out.
Yeah. Especially the kids are home in their comfort zone where they can look around, You know, maybe they got the computer or the tablet there. Something's on in the TV in the background. Maybe the music's playing over here. Maybe they got some toys that they see that they like looking at. Like it's a lot. It's a lot, man. And it's gonna be so tough for these kids. Like there's nothing like, first of all, being in a classroom environment. There's nothing like that. First and foremost. Second of all, there's nothing like having like you just explained, a teacher who can come into your face, work with you one-on-one. Yeah, I guess you could talk to your teacher one-on-one through a tablet or through a phone or through a laptop, but like there's nothing like that teacher sitting down with you, looking you in your face and giving you that help, that extra push and nudge. Like it's interpersonal communication that these kids will lack. I'm not even getting to the physical aspect, how these kids not going to have the chance to grow and develop, you know, their motor skills inside of a gym. They're going to lack that completely. We're talking about kids who are not even going to have opportunity to run around a gym, fall and bust their ass in the gym and pick themselves up and have to build that toughness. No, they're all going to be in the comfort of their home. Some of them are not going to be doing any type of movement. Kids. Yeah, it's going to be an era of soft kids. A lot of kids going to be soft. I'm talking about like walking down the aisle at a store, start crying because they hit their toe or something. Like
15 years, we're gonna see some soft ass adults.
You're gonna bump an adult walking down the street and they might bawl out in tears because they just don't know how to react.
Oh, you was a pandemic student. Huh?
Oh, you a pandemic baby, huh? Like it's a lot, man. It's gonna be tough. And I just feel for the kids that are having to go through this time. Like they're not gonna get the full force of education that they deserve because it's nobody's fault. It's nobody. Well, I mean, you can kind of blame people for how the United States handled the situation, but like this is what we're in right now. And it sucks and it's not fair to them, but what can we do?
Yeah, man. It's really, and it's tough on the teachers too.
Oh my goodness.
It's tough on the teachers to be out there and trying to teach remotely and trying to be effective, knowing that your students are probably don't care or probably don't understand how you're supposed to do it. I know as an educator, you're an educator. I'm someone who likes to be relaxed and, you know, maybe crack a couple jokes and have you comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And when you're doing something virtual, it's got to be straight to the point. You're on a time limit. You got to be straight to the point. This, that, the third. This is what you got to do and try to get all the information that you can. It's not as easy to build a relationship virtually through a screen.
And now
we're talking about, at least last year when kids were doing it, they knew their teacher. They knew who they were talking to and whatnot. Now you're talking about kids who are going to meet brand new staff, brand new teachers meeting brand new kids and having to build that relationship from scratch.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of situations where you can be in a classroom or the lunchroom or the gym where, you know, obviously it's an educational environment, but a kid doing something a little funny, you could crack a quick joke or do something. That's how you
build a relationship.
That's how you get kids to maybe open up to you more because they maybe say something funny and slick and you say, oh yeah, like you make that connection. It's not. I'm thinking especially schools where you got new students coming into the school for the first time. Maybe the parents have to move or something. I don't know. But you coming into a new school where you don't know any kids, you don't know any teachers, you don't know anybody, but your first day at the new school is sitting down in front of a laptop on a Zoom meeting with a bunch of random faces and a new teacher. Like, how are you supposed to feel comfortable as a kid?
Everybody remembers the first day of school. You bring out the flyers,
When I actually started paying attention to try to look decent for the first day of school.
First day of school, everyone pops out the first day of school.
That didn't hit me till maybe middle school.
Yeah, when I was like, that's when it should.
When I was like, yeah, this summer I'm gonna try to buy something. Mom, let's go get something nice because I want to look decent for the first day of school. It didn't hit me till maybe middle school. Cause I remember elementary school, 5th, 4th grade. I'm like, yo, throw whatever on, get on the buses. I'm cool. I never forget middle school. I got my first fitted hat. I think I had some FUBU jeans or shirt or some FUBU something, and I had my first pair of like Air Forces. And I was like, oh man, I remember the night before. I can't wait to rock this outfit to school. Oh, I had it laid out on because I had a bunk bed. I had it laid out on the bottom bunk, like, oh, this is gonna be fresh in the morning. Oh man, kids going to school in their pajamas now. They wake up,
roll over, open up the laptop. And then what is now you're thinking about? Not every kid is one old enough or two responsible enough to be at home by themselves.
Nope, and that's a whole different conversation of kids. You know, some parents look at school, which is sad. Some parents look at school as just daycare.
Right.
I'm gonna drop my kid off. Y'all deal with him for the next 7-8 hours, and I'll see him at 3-4 o'clock when it's done, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. I just need somebody to watch him while I'm at work, which is what it is, and they're not really involved. That's what in some cases, that's all it is.
And now parents gotta sacrifice work, or if they're not working remotely, what do they do? And even if they are working remotely, are they going to be on top of their kids' virtual work? And it's going to make education is going to be really
take a hit, man.
Really tough. And then there's two sides of it. We talked about how some of these, we joked about some of these kids are going to be soft and whatnot, but there could be some kids that come out of this as geniuses who took this time to learn something or develop things because the parents forced them to, or made them do an instrument or something at the crib with all this extra. Like it could go either way. Yep. It could go either way with how they use their time. Obviously, when you're young, you need those influences in your life to really push you to do it. But it's tough. It's tough times, unfortunate times. I feel kids right now, and some of these kids don't even know if they. Like, I know that I'm not a person that can work virtually. I need hands-on. Some of the kids don't know that yet. They don't know what their learning style is and how they like to learn and things like that. They're just going through things, struggling, and not knowing why they're struggling.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. This time period we're in, hopefully these kids don't come out of it too, I use the word damaged, but like, hopefully it doesn't throw off things too much, and the way things are now, or how they'll look like till they start the school year, it won't carry on too much longer. I see one of my guys, Jariel, I think that's one of my former students. Shout out to him, showing me support on IG right now. Stay with the books, Jariel. You got the 3-point shot, but make sure you keep your head in your books there, guy.
Daria says, I definitely needed hands-on in Mrs. Smith class. Yo, see, I'm not. First of all, we ain't supposed to be putting my business out there like that. This is a podcast.
Hey, Marv, you were stupid. This dude got dreads.
This was a podcast, but yeah, I tell you, Miss Smith was science. I wasn't good at science.
Science.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't even whether anatomy or biology or so that's how much I didn't pay attention to
science.
It was biology because we had to name the bones and like that, and so she used to do this thing called what's that thing Simon Says? So it was like Simon Says points at your patella.
Oh my God.
I was the first one.
Point at your patella.
I was the first one out all the time, man.
Anatomy. Geez. Yeah, science wasn't my best topic. Subject.
Well, look at me now, Mrs. Smith. Look at me now.
Hey, man, we're staying optimistic and positive here on Double M. Turn out for the best or the better, or just a sense of returning to normal. Just a lot of optimism and positivity over here from us.
Yeah, we that's the only way we can go right now at the moment. Just we're gonna get through it.
Yeah, it
depends now how long is it going to take.
Yeah,
but we're going to get through it. Rondo got dreads. Whoa. At what point are you too old
to try to work on getting dreads? I don't know. I don't know.
Rondo what? 33 now?
Rondo's he's early 30s, early to mid.
Maybe you're never too old for dreads.
You guys working on dreads. I don't know. Why the hell is Rondo getting I don't know. It's interesting.
When was Rondo's hair long?
This long time in the quarantine pandemic,
true.
man. I guess
That's true.
You know, LeBron halfway through the pandemic, so he's definitely using Just for Men. I don't know why he
now. He ain't using no Just for Men now.
I don't know. Maybe he's just not using it as heavy right now. But I remember seeing him a couple times during his beard whites. White. Then he came to the bubble, it's back to black. Now it's just he's probably just like, man, whatever. I'm just gonna rock with it.
Ooh, Rondo got facial hair.
Rondo got a full goat. That's what it's called, goatee beard. I mean, it don't matter. I don't have one. I got a little whiskers on my face. But quick update: we here watching the game live. So sorry, Portland's putting in some work against the Lakers, right? What I wanted to see, but just to wrap things up here on Double M. Like we said before, sports is rocking right now. We're going to continue to have those conversations, and always want to hear you guys' thoughts. Thoughts and feedbacks, input.
Amen. Make sure parents, make sure you're not raising some soft ass kids during this pandemic. Toughen them up a little bit.
Around the house, kid walking down the hallway, don't be knock him up down to the ground.
Shove them. Right now, they don't got no bullies in their lives, no nothing. Everything's sweet. You gotta be the bully sometimes.
Just give them a nice little shoulder, and they look at you. Hey, what was that for?
Yeah.
Get up.
That's life.
Life. Get up.
That's what's gonna happen in life. Just get up and push it back down again.
Push them back. Tell them to push you too, so they can feel empowered a little bit. Let them get a push in too, just so they can feel a little empowered. But yeah, man. Any final thoughts, Marv, as we wrapping up here on this Tuesday night?
Another great episode of Double M. Hopefully everyone keeps doing the job so we can get back into the studio and we can give you guys great content. But I'm excited for things to come. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in on YouTube, on IG, on Facebook Live.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys soon. Let us know what topics you guys want to talk about. We still got that one topic I want to bring up, but I'm gonna save it for next week.
Okay, we'll say that. Quick shout out to my parents. Happy anniversary.
Hey,
30 years. Love y'all. Love y'all for sure. Double M. We signing out. Facebook, IG, YouTube. Salute. Y'all have a good night. We out.
Living in the sea.